Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1, and we're going to break down everything we learned from that game. And first of all, I have to say Nottingham Forest put in an absolutely brilliant performance. They got their tactics spot on and they made it difficult for Liverpool. But you could see elements of where Liverpool not having the best summer window was starting to show. You could see the fatigue from the international break. You could see that, McAllister, very good player, who in my opinion probably shouldn't have come off because they looked a lot worse after the subs. You could tell that he wasn't 100% fit. I think Gravenberch had quite a good game. I think Van Dijk had a good game. I think Alisson was quite good as well. Diaz had some moments, but ultimately I think the front three was not good enough for Liverpool. Their final ball was lacking, and it was an off day for Liverpool, but do not take that away from how good Nottingham Forest were. Elliot Anderson was used almost as this sort of left winger to try and nullify Trent, who's one of the most best players in the world when it comes to game-breaking passing and creativity, and they defended well when they had these low blocks, and they made it very difficult for Liverpool. And it was a game where, considering Liverpool beat us last week 3-0 and absolutely destroyed United, this was not the Liverpool I saw last week. If this Liverpool could have showed up 2 weeks ago at Old Trafford, thank you. No, but it was like a different side, and I think Liverpool fans will feel flat because while they had a lot of possession, they just didn't really do a lot with the ball, and I think you got worse after the subs. You lacked that intensity. You played a little bit like United did last season. You lacked that intensity. The final ball wasn't there. There wasn't that urgency. I didn't see that urgency inside Liverpool. And I do think that Forest, to give Forest credit, did get their tactics spot on. So I'm going to give you my thoughts on Liverpool, what went wrong, what went well for Liverpool, what we learned from the game. As I say, a neutral fan, I did kind of want Forest to win. But just giving it in the most neutral perspective I can. And I think at the end of the day, Forest were more clinical. They defended well and they got their tactics right. And Nuno did very, very well to nullify Slot's Liverpool. Looking at Liverpool, I think they had a lot of the ball, but they seemed a bit sloppy. It was that post-international break fever. And I think, Alexis McAllister doing all that travelling in South America, there was rumours that he wouldn't be fully fit. All the travelling going around Africa, South America of these players on the international break, Liverpool just felt like they didn't have the energy levels they had a couple of weeks ago at Old Trafford. And I know there's a thing with Liverpool and international breaks. I have a Liverpool fan that I have a friend that's a Liverpool fan who always talks about how Liverpool just don't seem as good post-international break. It seems to be like a thing. And maybe that does weigh in a little bit, because I think Liverpool's lack of squad depth did show today, and players looked a bit tired, a little bit leggy, and it showed. And I think, well, you're going to have 3 international breaks. You're going to have, all these games coming up, 2 games a week soon. This is where I think Liverpool selling loads of players and only bringing in Chiesa is going to start to show, because I think Liverpool should have brought in a left-sided centre-back. They probably should have brought in a DM and maybe even another striker, because there's rumours of Darwin Núñez being unhappy. And I think that's where it showed today. I thought the Bradley, Núñez and Gakpo subs, I thought at the time, quite smart from Slot, but actually it wasn't, because Alexis McAllister came off, and I don't think Alexis McAllister should have come off. If I was Slot, I would have kept Trent at right back, left Bradley on the bench, kept Alexis on, even though he wasn't fully at it, taken Szoboszlai off if I was going to change the midfield. I think Núñez didn't do anything. Gakpo had a shot, didn't do a lot for Liverpool. Forest defended well, Forest made it hard, but I think Liverpool, they've only got themselves to blame. I don't think it's, people, I think when your team loses online, they always look to blame someone. I'll go on Twitter and there'll probably be Liverpool fans blaming Núñez, there'll probably be Liverpool fans blaming Slot, there'll probably be Liverpool fans blaming Salah. Ultimately, I think Liverpool have only got themselves to blame. It's not like, oh, Núñez was the problem, or Salah was the problem, or Conor Bradley was the problem, or McAllister was the problem, or Szoboszlai was the problem, or Slot was the problem. Liverpool just weren't at it. Salah missed a few passes to Dom. Salah was just having an off day, not at it. He was not clinical. Núñez and Jota couldn't really get involved. Midfield just looked a bit leggy. I think it was a mixture of things that went wrong for Liverpool today. And it might be one of those where it's just a one-off game where they weren't quite at it and they go and win their next 6 games before the next international break in a row. And that will be forgotten about. Or, maybe some people will say, the cracks showing? I mean, I watched Liverpool's first 3 games and bar the first 45 minutes versus Ipswich. Liverpool look very good. I think potentially if injuries get in, cracks could show at Liverpool because of the lack of depth. But I don't think this game means that Liverpool are going to have a bad season. Like, I predicted Liverpool finish 3rd. I don't think Liverpool will be in a title race, if you're my honest opinion. I think you started looking unbelievable, and maybe you can. You never know. I think it's City right now, Arsenal, then Liverpool. I predicted Liverpool 3rd. I think you'll get top 4, but I think this is Slot's first season. If you are in the title race right until April, that's an unbelievable achievement from Slot, particularly after having no transfer window. But I think I look at Liverpool's window. You only brought in Chiesa, who I don't even know if he's ready. I think he'll be a good addition. I think he'll be good for Liverpool. He can play centrally as well because Nunes just doesn't look right under Slot. But I do see where Liverpool lack the legs. I think they need another midfielder. I think they need maybe that left-sided defender. They need maybe another attacker. They miss those legs. I can see where their poor transfer windows come in. I think it's a mixture of jet lag. I think it's a mixture of games coming in fast, Liverpool lacking squad depth, Liverpool not being at it, and elements of Nottingham Forest just getting it absolutely spot on. So yeah, I don't think Liverpool particularly good today, but I do think that Gravenberch had a good game. I think he looked a little bit tired, but I do think for the most part he was probably Liverpool's best player. Him or Alisson, I'd probably say were your two best players. Because with Gravenberch, you always know technically he's got it. Gravenberch, technically, is one of the best players you're ever going to see. I was a massive fan of him at Ajax. Really good on the ball, line-breaking passes. He's a number 8 and he's filling in as a number 6 as a result of Liverpool not having a good transfer window. And I think what I've noticed with Gravenberch is he probably needed that year at Liverpool to adapt to the Premier League, get a run of games in because he hadn't played for a full year pretty much at Bayern Munich because they barely played him. And I think right now you're seeing Ryan Gravenberch that's not only, Slot bringing the best out of him, but he's definitely physically caught up to the speeds and the demands of the Premier League. He looks more physically better, caught up to the speeds and demands of the Premier League. He's technically got it, but now he's looking better physically, knows how fast the game moves, knows when he gets the ball to turn out, move it quick. And although Gravenberch was quite good, I think his ability in tight spaces on the ball is just levels ahead. And I thought that out of Liverpool's midfield, he was the best. He had the confidence in him. You can see he played a really good ball into Robertson. His legs made him very good at winning the duels. And I thought Gravenberch was quite solid. I thought the back four behind him was solid as well. I think that Gravenberch's line-breaking passes, his movement, his duel-winning ability, I think that he was probably Liverpool's best outfield player today. And I think that's the one positive Liverpool can sort of take away from this, is that Gravenberch looks like a sort of a new player, in my opinion. And why I think Gravenberch was Liverpool's best player today is because he always wants to move the ball forward. I think he played it forward into Szoboszlai, into the half space, and the Szoboszlai played it back. And I think if you're looking to break down Forest, they're playing a low block, you need to move the ball quickly and you need to move it forward. And Gravenberch seemed the only player with the urgency to do that. And then it was almost like that you'd ran out of ideas in the final third. So Salah was just like, I'm going to shoot from this random position, or Diaz was like, I'm going to turn and pass back. And I felt Liverpool lacked the directness in that final third. And Gravenberch was the only one really getting the ball into the final third, but the players in the final third weren't acting upon that. I think McAllister should have stayed on. I don't know why it says McAllister should have stayed off. I meant to say McAllister should have stayed on. I think that looked worse when he came off. They looked worse when he came off. I really should proofread these slides. McAllister should have stayed on because I think Liverpool looked worse when he came off, if I'm going to be honest. I think he didn't have his best game for Liverpool. You can see that he's clearly carrying something. He's not 100% fit. But I felt without Alexis McAllister, Liverpool struggled to build attacks. Dominic is someone that's good off the ball. McAllister is someone that's good at breaking down that final line of defence. And I think Gravenberch, McAllister, and I would have said Curtis Jones, midfield three, is what they should have done with Trent at right back. Because that way, when Elliot Anderson comes off, Trent's got a bit more freedom to actually get further ahead without being sort of defensively marked out. And I think that Liverpool's smaller squad show today, they didn't really have the subs to make an impact when the strongest 11 comes off. And I think why Alexis McAllister should have stayed on, even though he was having an off game, is because he's more like to make something happen. There was nothing. Nunes just had nothing. He wasn't good, Nunes, but he did have nothing. And I think that when you're looking to break down that final line of defence, he's got that pass in his locker. I'll speak to you about Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes and McAllister are different types of players, but Bruno Fernandes and McAllister have a breaking pass in their game, a game-breaking pass in their locker. That's what I mean. Bruno Fernandes can have an absolutely atrocious game for United, and United could be 0-0, and it's the 86th minute, and Bruno just plays one really good pass in, and United that have done nothing all game score a goal and win 1-0. That happened. That saved Ten Hag's job. The amount of games that I don't know how Man United won last season that we did, and it would come through something that Bruno had done. And McAllister, why wasn't having that his best game? He's someone that has that element that Bruno Fernandes has, but he's got the capability to just play that really good ball that's going to open up a game. I saw this tweet. I thought I'd include it. Find it hard to blame the manager because the individuals have been woeful. The passing has been absolutely shambolic. Overhit, underhit, awful players. Or underhit behind the players, to a Forest player. So I think Slot, I don't agree with his subs. I don't think you can blame Slot because the players lacked the intensity. The passing was just not quite there. And Slot's obviously not telling the players to pass it behind. He wouldn't tell his players that, which is fair. I think players like Salah had an off day. Did Liverpool rely on Salah too much? If Salah has an off day, is anyone else going to step up? Salah was, poor. Do you know, I'm very glad that I captained Haaland. I was weighing up between captaining Haaland and Salah. I'm very glad I captained Haaland. I do think Alisson had a good game. Van Dijk had a good game. Solid pairing. But Liverpool need to realise that, Van Dijk's got 1 year left. Trent's got 1 year left. I think how Liverpool have been managed this summer hasn't been very good. And I think they'll probably do something in January. But I think it's a wake-up call to Liverpool to say, look, you've got a good starting 11, but there's definitely more that you need to add to it. And it might just be a one-off loss for Slot. It may be something that, is shown to be a problem. Who knows? We'll have to see what happens in the coming weeks. Let me know your thoughts, Liverpool fans. Thank you for watching. Bye.